Very different. Totally different, Ros. Oh, here we are. Are we live? We're live. You.
Oh, we
Hello,
are.
Ros. Good
Hello.
to see you live.
Good to see you.
The amazing. Oh, the amazing Nathan Parnaby here with us
Hi,
today.
Nathan. Welcome.
Afternoon.
The man. And I reckon, Ros, today, this will be our most watched live in Australia.
Oh, let's make it the most watched live. It should be. It should be.
Oh,
Nathan has
amazing.
amazing contribution.
Oh, someone's liking us already.
Bigger.
Oh,
Getting bigger.
Murray.
So it should, bro. So it should. Very quickly. So we're going to talk leadership with Nate today. Hey, what's going on in Gladdo?
What's going on?
Oh, do you want to give these guys a wrap?
Yes. Well, our CQ Emergency Services Appreciation Day is coming up on the 14th of December at the Rocky Glen. And thank you so much to Doug and Nathan at Aztec Services. Came on yesterday as a major sponsor, and we really, really, really appreciate your support. So thanks to all of our sponsors, but especially these guys, because they've come to the party big time, and it's been a really big help towards us raising lots of money on the day for our emergency services.
Great.
So thank you.
Explain the date. What's
Thank
happening?
you.
Yes.
There's everything in there.
There is. We are having a huge event down at the Rocky Glen. We're having an outdoor stage. So far, we've got 5 bands playing throughout the day. Huge amount of kids' entertainment with jumping castles. This week, we secured Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Peppa Pig, and Paw Patrol are going to be there. I think it's Paw Patrol. So there's going to be characters down there for the kids. There's
Which
heaps
one are
of
you dressed
food
up
stalls. I'm not dressing up as that. I'll be running the auction.
Which one you?
You're the secret.
That's right.
So heaps of food stalls. We've got raffles and charity auctions throughout the day. We've got lots of ham raffles for Christmas, which will be great. Yes.
Christmas hams.
And we hope to smash our record from last year, which was $10,900, which the local emergency services have used to purchase a communications trailer, which helps them in areas where there's no mobile coverage.
Because we had them on last week. And a quick shout out, g'day Murray and Kia Ora to you. Is that how you say
Brent and Julie.
Brent.
And, you know Brent and Julie?
Brent and Julie.
And Lorraine. She's our groupie, right?
Yes.
She follows us wherever we go. So thank you, Lorraine. Great to have you on as always, girl.
So what's on this weekend?
What is on this weekend? Is there anything on? What are you going to do this weekend, bro?
Quiet weekend with family this weekend.
What weekend? Good, no work?
No work.
Beautiful.
Got guys working, but I'm
Yeah,
working.
right.
Touch wood.
Do you work a lot of weekends?
No.
Okay, good. That's good. Good. What are you going to? You're always going to something. What are you going
I'm working. I've been working
Really?
Saturday and Sunday
Is this young-
every
is this
weekend.
young bloke got a license yet?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, Ben, welcome to my team, Ben Crick.
Good on you, Ben.
New
Congrats, bro.
up-and-coming superstar in the real estate industry. He is kicking a heap of goals, and
Up-and-coming superstar.
I think he is. He's so passionate about this industry,
Love
and
it.
he's very entrepreneurial. We actually should interview him one day because he's developing apps. He's got a company developing like leather bag. Like there's so much going on in his life, and he's very young. He's 22.
So
He started real estate when he was 17 and worked for a couple of years in real estate and then got a job scaffolding. And I swear to God, I've never met anyone who's so passionate about everything to do with real estate.
Wow.
And he knows
Good on him.
his stuff. He's worked
Future
really,
principal.
really hard. I believe he is a future principal,
Right.
definitely. So,
Great.
yeah, so welcome to our team,
Welcome,
Ben Crick.
Good on you, mate.
It actually is going to be a great help for me. David
Mate,
Bevington.
New friends.
That's it. Hello, David Bevington. How are you, bro? Great to see you on. Thanks for joining us, man. We're going to hear from Nate in about 3 minutes' time.
Yeah, I can't see any events that are in
And I
there.
haven't got anything
Surely there's
special on
something
this
that's on.
weekend either. So, anyway, if you know of anything, stick it up for us. Oh, look who's just joined team. Mark Wallace.
Oh, hey, Mark.
There he is.
Hey, hi.
We're
Weren't
just-
we talking about him before?
We
We were
were,
talking about him
Hi,
before.
guys. Where are you, bro?
Yeah.
Wait, well, let's
Mark,
go
get in
to
the
a
group.
That's right. Right, so today, leadership. Now,
Leadership.
team,
And Nathan.
here's the thing.
Gen
Nate.
Y.
Nate is the man in about 100 ways. The main one is that he's such... I want to give you a rap first. Is that all right?
Go for it.
So Nate's a young guy and a young punk, wasn't
Gen Y, 31.
he?
31.
Young punk. And Nathan and I have known each other, 7, 8 years, you reckon?
I reckon. Yep.
And so we worked closely together out at Yarwin when we were out there together. Oh, Martin, thanks for joining us, bro. Martin was just here,
Hey,
actually, having a coffee.
Rachel.
Rachel and Troy
Troy
Morris.
Morris.
Do you remember Troy?
I remember Troy.
Nathan is the man. Brent and Julie, you are right.
And
He is the man.
like even back then, very
Can't find the words. He's that good. You just speechless.
Good
what's,
looking.
no, yes,
Very-
strikingly handsome man. And Paul Beach and
Maybe
Nancy's over here.
Nancy.
Phil
No, she
Richards.
just-
No, what's the word when impressive?
Mm.
Very impressive young man. Like,
Thank you, mate.
you know, there was nothing Nate couldn't do. Nate's a go-to guy if you need something to get done. He
So
knows
you
what
were
all stuff is.
Quite young when Anton met you.
Yeah.
Like, quite young.
Obviously, a lot younger
He's
than you are now.
only a boy.
Yeah, wow.
I remember Nathan and I were driving around one day in a ute and he was telling me about the story and how he got involved with Doug, and Nate started as an apprentice. He was Doug's first
So Doug's the
employee
owner, obviously, of Aztec Services. Yeah.
2005, so the day after schoolies, I joined Aztec
No
straight after. So, yeah.
way. No Christmas holidays.
That says
either.
a whole lot
Christmas
about you,
holidays.
seriously.
I
think.
know.
Yeah, and
As
just
a
talking about
17-year-old.
Ben as a young
17.
guy, he was 17.
18 I would have been.
Wow.
So there's a funny story actually, right? So my
Talk
first
through it.
ever job
Yeah.
outside of school, so back we used to put in fiberglass schools.
Yeah.
We used to work quite hard, you know, and first day on the job he kept asking me if I wanted to smoko. I said, no mate, I don't smoke. He just kept going the whole day till after lunch. He's like, mate, we've got to stop. I said, I don't smoke, mate.
So that was an old people's word, obviously.
right.
You didn't realise it was actually, do you want
Yeah.
something to eat, Nathan?
Yeah.
You need a drink, you need a spell break.
Yeah.
That would have been impressive.
So that set us off, that set us off.
Good start. Good on you, mate.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so you've gone obviously from that position to a leadership role within the company. How quickly did that process take?
So it's a bit of a long process. So I first started as a plumbing apprentice, went all the way through, and from about
We're going to London. Mate was going to be, wanted to see how he's progressing since my Yarwin days.
Oh, great.
Since our
story.
Yarwin
Yarwin days, yeah. And Lorraine, g'day. Sorry, mate.
You're right. So I first started as a plumbing apprentice. Went through there from about a third year apprentice. I reckon I had someone underneath me. So introduced to leadership
Wow.
from small, you know, young 20s from there onwards.
Right.
And then you sort of develop, or I developed off the tools eventually,
Of course.
and now a leader of other leaders, which
Yeah,
is
right.
definitely another step altogether.
Right.
And a huge step to take at your age, because obviously Doug, the owner, would have seen something in you to know that you were in a position for him to trust that you could, he could put people under you.
Correct, yeah.
And
So I don't think it's so much about skills, but more attitude. If you've got the attitude,
Yeah.
away you
The
go.
skills.
Skills will come.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the same, Nate? Like as an electrician, that's important, right? So you got to, you know, if I was going to hire an electrician, for example, I'd want someone who had the right attitude, not skills. Do you feel it's the same for a leader? Like if you're going to bring a leader into your business, because you've just hired some leaders, even at leadership level, I'm guessing that we hire attitude, not skills. Is that
Correct. So it's better to rein in a stallion than flog a pony, you know, or flog a donkey.
Oh, I like that. That's a great
It's
analogy.
all, it's all
Yeah, it
attitude.
is.
It's definitely
Yeah, yeah,
attitude. The skills will come for sure.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you want to learn, you'll learn. If you don't want to
Yeah.
learn, I can beat it in your head
Yeah,
while you
that's
want.
right.
You're not going to learn it.
Exactly.
So did you always see yourself at school as a leader? Is it
Definitely
something
not.
you actually realised along the way? I actually think I've got the ability to do this, because at a young age, because you were straight out of school, obviously you don't just all of a sudden stand up and say, oh, I think I'd be a really good leader. Like obviously you saw things within yourself that gave you the confidence that you could actually perform in a leadership role.
Yeah, so Doug's a very good leader. I think I was going to be a leader no matter what, you know. So we're not all born leaders. You've got to develop it, you know. And for me, coming on the tools, I'm a plumber. And when you become a leader, the further you got your leadership journey, the more you lose your professional identity, you know. So for me, that was really big, especially now because, you know, I was a plumber for so long.
Right.
You're a good plumber, good tradesman, then you start a leadership role and you're back down to square one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the longer you go, like I still consider myself a plumber no matter what.
Oh, right. 'Cause that's the identity that you've
It's an
got for
identity you're
yourself.
losing, so the further you go, the more
The further
you know,
away you get from that.
the more useless you feel, you know. So you're used to creating stuff with your hands, being very positive, you know, and then you
And
go
now
away
you got to
from
do
that.
it through other people, mate.
Correct, yeah.
So,
And
can I
we were
just...
talking before about Carl Barron, because he always
Oh.
mentions in his comedy skits
Funny
that he's
as
a
fuck.
roof tiler.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
and he said, I'll always be a roof
Roof
tiler,
tiler.
no matter how many times I
Yeah,
get
that's
on. Yeah,
And we won't digress
no,
at all.
we're not
But we
digressing.
have to, we have to just say about the night that Carl hooked up with like a really fancy bird and she wanted to take him out to a dinner party. He said, until then, I'd only ever had smoker on a
Oh,
couple
I've
of
seen
bricks.
this, yeah.
And he said, what's a dinner party? And then he turns up and he uses all the deadly words like use. You know, what are yous
Yeah,
doing
what-
tomorrow? And she berated him apparently.
Yes.
Anyway, so there's a bit of languaging that sits behind leadership too. Look who's on, Vanessa Sprangen. Thanks for joining us, girl. And Richard Howard-Winnick. How are you, champion?
And Richard.
So here's the thing. Here's my big question for you, bro.
Put me on the spot.
No, not at all. You know, like I'm an electrician too, so I went into that leadership role. I was too young.
Yep.
I was way too young. It's the school of hard knocks, bro, when you first start.
It is, yep.
Because no matter how good your attitude is, if you've never led people before, it is
Very hard.
And it's emotional drain.
It is, yep.
People don't like you and they don't agree with your decisions. And how did you handle that? Like, how does that all sort of show up?
So I've recently, and I've put you onto him, Martin Moore.
Yes!
Really good podcast guy. So if you get a
Podcast.
chance, ex-CEO of CS Energy.
Yep.
Anton's typing him up. So he does a really good podcast on respect before popularity. And I really took a lot away from that. That was really good. So if Martin Moore ever listens to this,
Someone's doing an angry
I'm
face
listening
at
to
me.
your podcast, mate.
Martin Moore, Carpenter, Martin Moore.
I don't think it's the
Martin
tattoo guy that's coming.
Moore. No, that's right. That's okay.
So what do you get out of him? What do you find that he's done for you as far as, you know, helping you with that sort of accepting leadership? And obviously you make a whole heap of mistakes when you first become a leader.
Yeah, so he speaks really down to earth, so I can really connect with him. I think he's really good.
And we're allowed to say shit on here.
So
What's
he's
the name of this
relatable.
podcast?
No bullshit leadership.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
And
okay.
the I is an exclamation mark, so if you search SHIT, you won't find it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I like him as well because Nate put me on him, so I went straight to him. And you know what? He actually has a really good philosophy in this. And he says leadership's not about you. He said it's about the individuals that you're leading, which I think is a really important thing. Because he said even in his leadership journey, he got so wrapped up in himself that he forgot that he's leading other people. So what helped you, mate, as a young? So how old were you when you took on your first leadership role?
Oh, I'd say 21, I reckon.
21.
Yeah,
That's young,
quite
isn't it?
Quite young.
So did you make it? What was the biggest blunder you made back then as a young leader?
Biggest blunder.
Let's put you on the spot.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
That's all right. I'm here for you, brother. Think fast, talk slow.
Yeah.
Do you remember any? Like, is there any times where you go, shit, I wish I didn't do that?
There's been lots, even now there is. So, even giving guys feedback or disciplinary actions, like you always learn from that, and that is tough.
Yeah.
Because you're actually affecting guys' lives.
I always think it would be
Negative
tougher
and positive.
for someone like you because probably a large percentage of the people that work under you would be much older than you or older than you. So it's challenging when you're my age and you've got people who are younger than you. But I think from that, and does that sort of make you question, has that made you question your decisions a lot because of the age thing?
So it's no secret, like I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always been a leader. I've always been open and honest with my guys. And I think I've just got respect from the guys through that. You know? They know, they're confident. One guy even told me today, he's really noticed the difference in management since I've been in this role here.
Wow.
And he's confident to open up to me, both good and bad, so he doesn't hide anything. And that was after we delivered a written warning today, he brought that up straight after. So I thought that was very, very good.
Have you ever actually had someone use that against you? Like if they're...
100%.
Yeah, I was going to say,
100%.
because I would expect that people would say, well, what would you know? You're only a young fella.
Pun. I just want to give a shout out. I just want to involve everyone.
Hey, Shelley.
Shelley, just champion. Thanks for coming, girl.
Matthew
Yeah,
Merritt.
Nathan. Yeah, just champion. Good on you, bro. Maddie Merritt, all the way from Boddington Gold in WA. Boilermaker.
And Corey...
He chopped his... What did you do, Maddie? You chopped the end of your finger off. That's right. And Rachel McCobbo and Corey Bruton. You know the Bruton boys?
No.
Neil and Sean Bruton? Yeah.
Not yet.
Julie's brothers, Boilies.
Nephew, is it nephew?
That's nephew. Yeah. So that is this age thing, man. So you're Gen Y, yeah?
Gen Y.
Born in 1988.
1988.
I was in grade 12 in 1988. I was a bicentennial
was
senior,
great,
so that's how old I am. So on that, with the when we're talking about obviously some people using that, people have used that before. Obviously, when you've had to pull them up for something or try to guide them, and that they've actually used the age thing, as a defence of, what would you know because I'm older than you, I know better. How do you respond to that? Like, how do you actually turn that back around as a leader?
Mine's a bit unique, I come from the tools, and most of the guys I've worked with on the tools, so I've had long relationships with them. Even now, I know Doug doesn't like this, so if he hears it, I jump in with the concrete on the boys on the weekend, so I'm there with them as well.
Right.
So
So you're not scared to get your hands dirty
Not-
to prove
yeah,
to them that.
Correct, yeah. And
Yeah,
I'll
you're
work till
still-
my arms fall off.
Right.
Like, just to prove to them that it can be done.
Right. So does that mean that you're not above them, mate? Is that what you're trying
Correct.
to prove?
Correct, yeah.
That you're. But I'm guessing there's a fine line, though, isn't there?
Definitely.
Because you still got to lead, and you can get into the trenches. So what's that sort of like? How do you manage that?
So I only limit my time in there. Obviously, like I love concrete. I still jump in with the concrete
Right.
every time we get a pour. So
Right.
I was in there last Saturday, for instance,
Yeah.
still in there with the guys. So
Okay.
I think they respect me a lot more because I've come from the tools. You know, I'm not an engineer. I'm not an academic. You know, so quite a practical kind of guy.
Hands-on experience.
So when you say before, you know, you are, and I've met you recently actually, and I just
Yeah.
looked up to you straight away. I think that you are a standout as far as, you know, people that I've met and someone who's had an impact on me straight away for the personality that you are and, you know, the way that you communicate and things like that.
Above
So
his years, I reckon.
absolutely,
It's-
maturity,
I know,
maturity
really
above
mature,
your years,
really
no,
mature guy.
honestly.
Really mature guy.
Kerry Lossett, gotta love it. I think she
Gotta
means
love it.
tradie.
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 Love it. Oh, no.
Trader.
And-
Trader.
Sorry,
Yeah,
mate.
trader. And Nudgee College, Dave Carmody, go the nudge.
So and now again you've digressed and
Sorry.
straight out of my head. No, that's okay. So when you've actually got to, you know, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and sometimes that can I've found in leadership role at my age when I've got people working for me, it means that you sometimes tend to give too much and you help too much, and that can come back and bite you really badly because, you know, you're not actually saying these are the rules and this is the policies and procedure, and you tend to try to, you know,
Please.
gush a bit too much with your the people who work under you. So have you had that experience where you've sort of had to learn along the way that giving everything to them is not always the best way to train and
so
lead people?
At the moment, I'm in a role. I'm a leader of leaders, so it's one more step above. So not just you're leading the guys on the tools, which you know about. You go one step further, and all your responsibilities are, I suppose, accountable for the people below you, and all their decisions affect how you speak. And so I really think, you know, you've got to celebrate the wins, but also manage the underperformers, because it's not fair for the rest of the team if they see an underperformer and nothing happens to them.
Right. So it's about equality
Correct. And
Right.
consistency.
and
So,
consistency.
consistency. So
Consistency.
So I totally agree with, you know, rewarding for a job well done and things like that. But is there, you know, have you struggled, and because of your age, obviously, have you struggled with delivering the kick up the butt, I guess, if someone is not pulling their weight or they're not at the same level?
yeah, I don't
Is
think
that something
so.
you've had to learn and get better at along the way?
With my guys, when we get to disciplinary action, that's no surprise, you know. So it's
I know it's coming. So
they know it's coming. So it's actually abusive to you guys not to give feedback. So it's abusive. So
which is why you do it so well.
correct.
Right,
And you do it
so-
so often.
Can I just tell the story about this? Like I teach.
Butchie's joined
Oh,
us.
Butchie, fitter and turner by trade, held me in good stead for life in politics. Isn't that great?
That's good to know. That's
So I'm really particular.
position of a leadership position.
No, it's
Trading,
where trading's end up.
yeah.
Digressing, guys.
I know. Nate's going to keep us on track today because
That's what
Ros
makes us
digresses
digress.
a lot.
Oh, I do know.
You
You're
do
worse
so.
than
I
me.
gave them the gift of
When,
feedback.
when people join us, you can't ignore what they've got
That's
to
right.
say. So, and there we go.
there's two
Giddy up.
Butchers on
There's
the line.
two.
Two twins. So the one thing that I always say to people is, I say be very picky and choosy who you take
Right.
feedback from. There's a great quote, and it's Brene Brown's made it famous because it's her last book, Dare to Lead. It's all about it. Only take feedback, and I always say feedback from people that are in the arena. The quote is a long one from, I think it's Winston Churchill. There are some people in the arena, and there are some people in the stands. If you're not in the arena getting dirty, spilling blood, learning from the school of hard knocks, guess what? You're not qualified to give me feedback. You know what I mean? And when you live in the public a bit, and when you live in a leadership role, people are really ready to give you feedback, right? And I'm particular who I take it from. And we call it the gift of feedback.
Which you
It is
mention a lot.
It's a
Yes.
gift. Yeah. Choose to
And-
unwrap it or
and,
not.
and I love that. And Nate's gave me this great thing, and he gave it to us at the workshop that we did recently. Someone will give you the feedback, and it's your choice whether you take that or
Love
not,
that.
unwrap
That's
it.
perfect.
And so Nate is a natural feedback giver, because even during the workshop, like at 10 o'clock at night, you know, I get a text from Nate, hey, why don't you try this tomorrow? No.
I'm really bad.
Don't worry. I was
Can't
up.
help myself.
I know, and I was up and I took it and I went, yeah, beauty, great, I love it. And we did that stuff. And I love Nate's feedback.
I think it was on the position of the camera.
Yeah, it was.
Something really small.
Exactly that. And we moved it, and all of a sudden we got better footage. But one thing that I love about Nate is he sent me a graph the other day, and he sent me with 2
Draw it in
lines.
your book.
All right, I will.
Put you
No,
on
that's
the spot.
okay. Oh, let's do it. We can.
I
Draw
wonder what
here.
you were doing with the straws.
Because what I love about the
Ad libs.
we're going to ad lib here. So actually, let's draw it this way.
This is copyright by Nathan Palmer.
That's right.
You've just got another head swell moment here because Sherry just said your guns look huge.
I'm flexing.
Oh, do
Sherry.
you work
I'm
out?
flexing.
Give us a
Do you work out?
I'm no triathlete.
He's turning it. He's a big man. And Troy's saying, question. What can you? Yeah, we're going to get to that, Troy. What can you share with other young leaders in managing your customers' expectations? Considering your age, you took on a leadership role. What are your key learnings? And we're actually going to talk about that. And Sherry, ask you, Nate, your guns. Oh, that was her.
That was her.
So Troy's,
Welcome, Chris.
we're going to talk about Gen Y leadership.
That's
in
a
a
pretty
moment.
good question, Troy, considering
It
he
is.
was one of my clients.
That's right.
Oh,
Exactly.
That is really good. Yeah.
So what Nate said is we have boundaries, right? Now, this is a bit rough and rugged, team, but this is the message, is that behaviour floats inside, I guess, like an upper and a lower control limit. And these upper and lower control limits are like boundaries. And I know that Nate is big on when things get too close to the, and I think you did use the word boundary. Was it boundary that you used? Oh, you want to draw it? Okay,
Sorry, mate.
Go.
You're doing my graph no justice here.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's
Welcome,
called
Joel.
the gift of feedback.
Oh, Sherry's still she's still going on about flexing your muscles.
So this is the whole way I see leadership. You can see that in there.
You can draw a new one if
That's it,
Anton's
yeah.
isn't good.
That's it.
Yep.
Sort of see it. So as a leader, we provide. Sorry, I know you guys can't see what I'm writing.
No, you're
Direction.
Yep,
Direction.
direction.
So that's
Right.
the arrow.
We
Direction.
have an upper and lower boundary. And now that I'm leading leaders, essentially, I don't care. You can operate however you want in this section. Lead your team how you want to lead your team. When you come out of these boundaries, I'm going to pull you up. But until then, lead however you want to lead in there.
Like it.
So it's really about making sure. I mean, and I guess to help guide you with that is having good structure and policies and procedures so that there are consequences for going outside of those boundaries.
So I was a really bad micromanager, really, really bad. And then that's how I've sort of got out of it. I've set boundaries, upper and lower limit. Manage your team however the F you want to in between that. But when you come out of those boundaries, I'm going to pull you up on them.
Right. Can I just say that, Nate, though? Thanks for joining. Oh, Sonia.
That's my mum.
Oh, hey,
Mrs.
Sonia.
Barnaby. You should be
Got a
very
great boy
You
here.
should be very
You,
proud. He's a very
yeah.
special young man. And good on you, Scott. Thanks for joining. You'd have to be upfront with the people you're leading before when they start.
The most important thing is consistency. So see how we draw these nice straight lines? Imagine if they were like this.
Now,
Yep.
Consistency.
now,
And I guess that's also making sure you're communicating to the team that you're leading, very clearly what those boundaries are. And if you are leading by example, and before when you use the example about, getting in with the boys and concreting and things like that, I guess there's that real fine line where when you're a leader, you don't want to become so matey with people that it's hard for them to take your leadership seriously. So, how much time you socialise with them or what you do when you socialise with them. I think there's that real fine line as far as staying the leader throughout it all.
So I might flip it up a bit. I'll ask you a question and put you on the spot. So
go, bro.
you feel. So the difference between a manager and a leader.
I've got a really simple answer
Get
to
to
it.
it because I've got an answer too.
Right. Before we do that, Kimberly McKenna, is Glenn here hacking my wife's Facebook? This is an awesome management tool. Nathan's using this on me. He's using it on me.
Yeah,
Glenn, good on
My
you,
dad does that all the time, uses mum's account. So
but what I love is look at the wording, very specific. He uses this on me.
Glenn is a supervisor for
Yeah.
Aztec.
Yeah.
Actually, he was at the charter.
Yeah, right. Glenn is it Mackenzie Ross? Yeah. No, that's right. Can I answer that very quickly? Management is about process. Leadership's about people.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's my simplistic view on it. Because managers just want people to do stuff, whereas leaders get people to do the right stuff for the right reasons in the right way. And the right way is so that it makes a difference for us all and it's the right thing for you, and it's the right thing for me, and it's the right thing for the team. So to me, that's leadership and that's management.
Mine's really basic, and I think managers talk the talk and leaders walk the walk.
Oh, we're clichéing the shit out of it today.
Yeah.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
So I take a bit of a different view, right? So if you Google difference between manager and leader or boss and leader, like it comes up with literally
Hundreds of things.
what did we type in? What is leadership
Yeah,
the other
that's
day?
right. Yeah.
Sorry to diverge a bit.
No, you
50
brought it
million.
up. There was
So we did a workshop the other weekend, a public speaking workshop, and I did a talk on leadership. And as one of, I think it was the first or second slide, I typed in what is leadership?
Yeah.
Easy question, right? And typed it in Google, and I screenshot that in Google, and it come up with it was 5 billion,
Billion,
or
wasn't it?
800 million results in
yeah.
0.52 seconds or something.
As
So,
it was too.
It
Good
was
memory.
over 5 billion.
Good memory,
Yeah,
good
definitely.
so yeah, it's a hard, easy question, right?
Yeah, that's right. So,
So-
what do you think it is?
So the difference between manager and leader. So manager is about compliance. So you will do the right stuff while I'm here managing you. A leader will coach the team to do it while he's not there. So he'll create a culture,
Okay.
and that culture will keep
Okay.
going while he's not there. So you'll still get compliance while he's there.
And when that's most important, I reckon, mate, is when it comes to the safety space.
Correct.
Right? So, it's one thing to, I don't know, fill out a document a certain way when you're there or not. But if you're driving a crane the wrong way just because you're not there, and we're putting people's lives at danger, that's a different story, right?
So manager is compliance, leader is commitment. Remember the Bradley curve. Yeah.
Right.
So
compliance and commitment.
earlier, you said you used to be a micromanager. So what was your blinding flash of the obvious to actually go, hang on, I need to do this differently to be more of a leader than a manager?
You literally get to a stage where you can't cope with your workload at all. And you get to a stage where you have to trust your guys, and you literally can't keep micromanaging that same workload and trust the guys. It just goes progression.
Was there a moment?
I don't think there was a moment.
Or was
No.
it just a
Process.
progression?
Just a general progression.
Learning?
Yeah. It was definitely learning.
So aside from trusting your guys, you would have to trust your policies and procedures and the structure of the rules that you set in place, so they're very clear and defined.
Not so much. I get a bit deeper. You got to trust your values.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta
right,
Get your values
exactly.
in place. So the guys know the rules. They know what's black. They know what's white. It's you creating those culture and those values above that.
So you can actually be withdrawn from the business and still
Still
know the
succeed.
job's getting done safely and
That's
accurately.
What I thought Nate was going to say then was you've actually got to trust yourself that you've given them the right direction and that you have set this up right and that they will come to you because they trust you as much as you trust yourself. Because remember, if you don't trust other people, they don't trust you. If you don't trust yourself, they won't trust you. And so you've sort of got to start internally, right?
And it feels wrong. It feels
Yeah.
wrong to try and put trust in someone else.
Yeah.
But it'll keep feeling wrong. Like that
I watched
YouTube thing the
it.
other day.
Loved it.
The
I was
ape.
waiting
So
for you to
we're-
bring it on.
We're all apes,
Yeah.
Take charge,
Yeah.
do it my way. So you're doing the opposite, and it feels wrong.
I
Would be
love that
uncomfortable.
video.
It would be very uncomfortable.
Right. So coming back to Troy's question, and I guess what we really want to unpack with Nate today. Gen Y, bro.
Gen Y.
So you're young. You're a young punk.
Got a beard. I'm 31 years old.
That's right. Is it not for November? November, is it?
Well, 31's half past 25, so I'm on my way to 50.
Yes.
I'm well on my way to
we're
50.
close, we're closer. So like Ros has had young people in her business. I've had young people in my business. And young people today have got a bad rap, which I don't agree with. And I'll give you my perspective on that first, though. But from a Gen Y dude, which is 1985
Put me on the spot.
something. Let's say 1985 to 2000-ish. And Yonki all the way from Bali. So in saying that, you're right in the middle of Gen Y. Would you lead different to say the way Ros and I would lead differently, and why, maybe?
Tough question. Like we're all different,
Yeah.
You're different from me.
Yeah.
Would I lead different? Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially not. It's different personalities. Even leaders between me and my age, or me and a person next to me,
Course,
exactly the same
course,
age, different
course.
leadership
Different
styles.
styles, yeah.
So does age affect the way you lead? I know we're different.
I don't think so. No,
Okay.
I'm not going to. I don't think I'm going to get to 40 years old and go
And be
light
different.
bulb.
Right. You could get that light bulb at 31, but
Good.
okay.
So good question.
So-
not so much good answer
No,
for me,
no,
but
that's all right. Well, here's another question. Do you find it harder to manage different generations, to lead different generations? Is the younger generation harder to lead?
No, so I'm pretty confident I lead everybody the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, personalities are different. We talk to people differently. You know, I know what makes you drive. I know what makes you down. I know what makes you happy. I know what makes you sad. So it's a matter of tailoring the conversations to different. Not so much generation. I think the different personalities.
Right.
Definitely.
That's the key, isn't it?
It's actually knowing the person, I guess, isn't it? And
That's
yeah,
the answer.
and also having, I suppose, that connection where you know, identify if there's something externally that's affecting them differently to the way they normally behave at work, or you know, there's obviously pressures on families, and people with kids have different pressures to young people.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, if you, looking back at, like, Doug's obviously older than you, your boss, putting yourself in his shoes, do you think there was a defining moment where he identified the leadership skills in you to put you into the role at such a young age? Like, if you were to go back to that point where he started transitioning you into leadership, did he identify something in you that he didn't see in other people that worked for him at the time?
Potentially, yeah. So, you know, we all get driven by different things, you know. So my whole drive in Aztec and as a leader, you know, Doug's my mate, not my boss. So I wake up every morning and I drive for my mate. So not so much a company. So if it would have been different and I would have worked for the Guinea Group,
Right.
and I
Who
didn't
you would
like
have
it,
loved.
or Rio Tinto, you know, I
That's
wouldn't
right.
be the same person. So
Right.
that's what really drives me as a leader is my mate more than.
Shit.
Wow,
So, you know, it's tough. So I deal with, you know, claims, millions of dollars,
Yeah.
my mate's money. So
Right.
and you
not
take
so
that
much
really
my
seriously
boss.
because you want to have Doug's back rather and a reflection of that
I
is
want
obviously
people like
the
you
company.
working in my business spending money like it's their own.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
all you
tough.
ever want. You want people to treat your business like their own.
And I
that's
have
what
to
he
say,
does.
within my business and stuff I've had over the years, that, you know, there's only a couple of people I can really identify that
Have done that.
work for me or have worked for me that, you know, they actually personally, you know,
Love your business
have your
like
best
you
they
do.
interest
have,
at heart.
yeah. So Lisa, who's my office manager,
She does.
she watches every postage stamp, every photocopy, because she's so
And so does
got my
Alison.
back as far as, you know what I mean? And you have,
get
you have people who work for you like that. And I think there's just that different connection where you actually know that they're actually doing it for you, you know, rather than, yeah.
So we did a charter the other day.
We did.
A team charter
We
with
did.
our team.
We did.
And my whole driving factor behind that was I want the company, like, it really hurts me when we get negative feedback and negative images, you know. So that's what drove me to do the charter and turn the whole team around.
Yeah. And it went well.
It
And
did go well.
and we'll talk about that in a sec. And if you ever look at Nath, even so, we went away to the sunny coast 2-3 weeks ago. G'day, Greg. G'day,
we had an awesome couple of days with the Guinea group,
and we
didn't
did
we?
go to the Guinea Group. Best workshop you've ever been to, I'm sure.
Oh, without
Commit
a
to
doubt.
put a photo up there.
Oh yes,
So, yeah.
we will.
Good photo.
And Nath did a great testimonial. Thanks. I'm going to use that. A bit of wind, but that's cool. And like even at that workshop, you turned up with an Aztec shirt on, and even Doug didn't.
No, you didn't.
Like that's, you know, that says
Yeah.
a lot. And this is someone that walks their talk. And what I love,
Wore it both days too.
I know.
I had two different
Sure.
shirts. One was a golf shirt.
I thought you stunk a bit. No.
No.
But there's this thing called congruence, right, in leadership. And you know what that means. It means you say one thing and then you do another. That's incongruency. But what you say, you walk your talk, and that's
Well,
that whole...
You watch my feet, not my mouth.
Right. So you see what you're doing rather than listen to what you say.
Which is when my thing of a leader will walk the walk, and that's
talk the talk.
and it just shines from people like Nathan,
that's
because even in our conversations outside of the workshops on the sunny coast at lunch, and you know when we were talking at dinner and things
That's
like
right.
that, you can just tell how committed he is to Doug and the
for sure.
business, and making sure that everything that you do, it was very obvious that it was for the
Mrs.
betterment.
Mrs. Peter. Go, Mrs. Barnaby.
She's not at work yet.
Right.
But it was very obvious, and I just think there's, you know, certain people that are a standout, and you were a
There's a
standout.
word that fits in there, and it's integrity.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a
Yeah.
big thing.
And I've just had a penny drop for me too, Nate. And it's this, that what you do for Doug comes back in spades.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt.
Because even you were saying just before we started that Doug was good enough to, I think he gave you a gift or something recently, a shirt or something.
Last night,
Yesterday.
fishing shirts. So we got Aztec fishing
Aztec
shirts.
fishing
How cool
shirts.
is that?
And you didn't
Cherie actually made those, so thank you, Cherie.
Oh,
She's
good
on.
on you. Good on you,
Thanks,
Cherie.
Cherie. Yeah.
And you
Great
know, like,
gift, though. I think that's an awesome idea.
but isn't it good as a business owner when we as business owners can give back to the people that give to us? Like it's it's a two-way street, right? And I love that. And there's an element of leadership in that, because what you actually demonstrate that for other people in your business.
Correct.
We're not here to make stuff or concrete. We're here to actually build something bigger than ourselves and be part of something
Think
bigger
of the
than ourselves.
long-term picture.
Oh, definitely.
Not short-term.
And it's I think it's the same no matter how big your business is, because
Yeah.
I have 3 staff,
Yeah,
and today's
me too.
actually, I just have to give my property manager a plug. It is a segue, but today's Thank a Property Manager Day.
You're incredible, Mr. Partners. Oh, go, Christy. Good on you, girl.
Today is actually Thank a Property Manager Day.
Oh, it is too.
So thank you to all the property managers out there who are looking after people's rental properties. But I had flowers delivered today for Laurie, my property manager, and she's amazing. And to actually couldn't gush enough about how much she, and she's someone I don't have to micromanage.
And Spearsy's done the same thing.
She's
There's a big photo
amazing.
with all the photos.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter how big,
Look,
how
the
many
big boss is
staff
on.
you
The
have.
big boss is on.
How many?
Big dog's on.
The big dog.
I don't think it matters the size of the business, the leadership, as far as the way that you and I mean, I think
3
Doug
people,
providing
200 people.
Doug
doesn't matter.
providing giving those shirts out. I think that would
That's
actually
massive
it would make you
leadership.
go home from work feeling really good. That
It
my
does.
boss
And
gave me a
it's-
fishing shirt.
It's the little things. So we've got a toolbox board, as you do every
Yeah.
morning, Up the top of it, there's tabs, Aztec's thing, and it's just got it in writing. Little things like I changed that out. I think the second day I was there to our logo. Take pride in the logo, not just the
Good
name.
on you.
Just the little things like that really matter.
Yeah. Now, here's a question for you, Nate. From Brent and Julie. Thanks, champion, or Julie.
Troy
whoever.
likes fishing shirts first.
He does too.
If he wasn't
does.
in London, he might.
So what they
Yeah,
say,
that's
the
right.
ultimate measure of a person is not in moments
Of
of comfort and convenience, but where they stand at times of challenge and controversy. Do you think this underpins how a leader should operate?
Well, it separates the man from the boys.
Mm. Well, the women
So
from
to
the girls.
speak.
Yes, from the girls.
Like
yeah,
Chris
right.
and Courtney.
So I think that's good, Brent. I think we just Googled that then, but it's good. I agree, mate. I agree. Definitely.
So talk us through it, mate. Expand on that for us. So there's challenge and controversy. They're the times that make us.
So it's about challenging yourself, really. It's,
Could you put your finger on one of the biggest challenges you've had as a leader, like even a period in time?
yeah, I don't think so.
Right.
I think for me, it's just been a steady curve. It's not like I just woke up, bang.
That's right.
There's been challenges for sure, daily challenges, but
Yeah.
that's how you overcome them. What else, And it's the bigger picture as a leader. It's not just you, it's your team. So all your results are from your team. All your accolades you receive are from your team doing stuff. All the negative stuff is from your team doing
So
stuff.
you've said that you're leading leaders now within the
Right.
company. So are you is it your job then to promote someone to another level? And if it is, are there identifying qualities that you see in people that you can automatically just think that guy would be a great leader in my team?
Yeah, so I
It's a good
back to
question.
another YouTube one. Sorry, so
Right,
there's a good
yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
one on the guy who chose SEAL Team 6, so the Navy SEALs. So there's a graph of performance and trust. So they obviously don't want the low performer, low trust. They don't look for the high performer, high trust. They look for the high trust, medium performer. So they'd rather that guy. They'd rather
High
that guy
trust.
over the high
Medium
performance,
performer.
low trust guy.
So which
So
way?
it's more
Which
about
way we
trust
talking?
than academic performance and
Correct.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
So it's
That's really
you
interesting.
don't want the high performer, low trust.
Yeah, but are we trusting our leaders? What do you mean?
Trusting the person.
Yeah,
That's the
identifying.
personality.
So you might not be the most academic person in the group and
But
the
if you-
most knowledgeable, but if you're someone I believe I can trust and you have the business's
So it's
back
like
and my back,
reliability.
I trust you with my money and my wife.
yeah,
Beautiful. Right.
yeah.
So it's reliability.
That's a really good.
Correct.
That's actually
I know,
that's
I
a
know.
really good
That's it.
judge
So
of
they're
who
not
a
going to
person
choose
is.
a high performer, low trust. But
No.
I don't want those guys at all. Obviously, no one wants the low performer, low trust. No one wants that at all.
I think
They'd
that's
rather
actually a
the
really good
medium
lesson for
performer, high
life,
trust.
as far as the people you hang around, because they might be
That's what I was gonna say.
they might be somebody who is the
Hello,
smartest,
Vanessa.
most
Zach,
intelligent, richest, or whatever person in the world, but you don't want them to be in your tribe
Yeah, that's right.
in life or work
Yeah.
if there's someone that you can't actually trust.
And the example that I use in life is, who can you ring in the middle of the night and ask help you move house?
Yeah.
The shittiest job on the
I
planet.
need something right now.
Who's going to be there in the middle of the night for you?
Yeah. And that is a gauge of a person's actual.
Trustworthiness.
Well, yeah, it's whether they have that integrity, like you said before.
I'm going to put Nath on the spot again and ask him this, so you said every day's got some challenges. So what do you do during those? What's the secret, Nath, to
emotional intelligence?
Yeah.
He's been listening. He's listening.
Sorry, mate.
No, good.
Yeah, I always take that time to reset. So when I go to work now, that's my 15 minutes to set the day up. So I don't listen to music anymore on the way to work.
Right.
I listen to a Martin Moore podcast.
Oh,
I set
'cause
my
they're
day
short.
up. I do. So, that's how I set my day up. I'm focused. I'm there. And then that's on my way home from work. I don't listen to music. I don't listen to podcasts. I review my day, how I went. So it's a little secret what I do.
So question on that, looking back at your 15-year-old self, because I'm going to actually lead into something here as far as, the next generation who, what do they call the Z generation?
Yeah,
is that after us? Oh, yeah.
iGens, yeah.
So looking back at your 15-year-old self, if someone had said to you, in a few years you'll be driving to work listening to a podcast and not music, what would you have actually said to them?
This is going to be embarrassing. I don't listen to 93.5. Sorry.
Right.
I like 93.5. I'm an ABC guy. So I'm old.
Right. Oh, you ABC.
So at
ABC
15,
guy.
if someone had said you were
Definitely
listening to
old,
ABC radio, yeah.
He's like us now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have believed it.
Right.
So I've always, as a way, been a leader. A leader's on words either, a financial leader, a sporting leader, academic leader, a work leader, research leader. So throughout my whole life, I was captain of the football team. I was always there for other people. So I don't think it was.
That actually is one of my questions. As far as at school, were you an academic? Were you in leadership
I was
roles?
always not at school. So I was always in sport pretty my whole life. Was sport.
So you're a sport, yeah. Because
and I think that's where you really learn. It's not about you; it's about the team.
So I've heard that they've actually identified that people who play team sports can have really good leadership qualities because it's about the team.
My kids will be playing sport. Sorry, Kirsty. My kids will be playing sport because I want them to be coachable. If you're not coachable, you give up.
That's great.
You have to be coachable.
And
So
you
have
never
to get-
lose that ability to be
You
coached.
have to be used to being told what to do.
Yeah.
That's life.
And taking that advice on, like taking the feedback and then using it
Yeah.
from the right people. You asked the question, though, really early in this interview, Ros, though. You asked Nate something about did he display leadership qualities? And he sort of said, well, not so much because you're not a born leader. Now we find out and you were the leader of the footy team, and you were the captain of the footy team.
And I'm the eldest brother of two
Yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
So, in a way, I suppose, definitely.
So we might not, I agree that you're not a born leader
Thanks, mate. Talking about me or people in general.
in general.
But is he a born influencer?
Correct.
Like
you're
that's-
born something.
Yeah.
You're
And
born something.
there's obviously characteristics
Yeah.
from when you were younger and a child and growing up and being the older brother, and you probably have taken a lot of those traits into your leadership role now. But it's really hard at the time to identify that puts you in good stead to be a really good leader, isn't it? So
Well, you don't know when you're the under 16 footy captain that you're going to be a manager of a business.
All I care about is girls.
That's right.
So, and on that, looking back, like if you were to actually talk to a group of young teenage boys, especially, what would your advice to them be as far as, because I talk to a lot of young people, even in their early 20s, I talk to a lot of people who they feel like they're alone in the fact that, I haven't saved any money. I have had 5 jobs in the last, 5 years. And, I know so many young people who are in that same position where they actually feel like they're still sorting their shit out, I guess. And they feel like that's the end of the line and there's no hope for me. And, when does it all start? Because someone actually once said to me, a good friend of mine actually said, because I have a daughter and a son, and I feel like my daughter's matured faster than my son, but she actually said between about 17 and 21 you'll actually lose your sons. They go on this journey of discovery as far as this man thing where they take, and I've actually noticed that in a lot of the young guys that because it's about discovery. And so if you were talking to like a big large group of teenagers, what can you give them as far as hope goes for what they could do or the future.
So, life's not a straight line. I said I started work straight after school. I was accepted to go to university, so I was going to go to university.
What were you going to study now?
Information technology.
I
was going to be an IT guy.
So you are a bit of a boffin, Lyndon Ennis. Thanks for joining us.
I like technology. So
I
was going to university. throws you a different curveball. It's just a matter of grabbing it.
So what was the change?
What made you not do the plumbing
no-
apprenticeship?
There was no change in my head. It was just the way the
So Doug
it
showed
felt.
up. Yeah.
Just the way it felt, yeah.
Because you wanted to earn money? Was that the drive? Or not really?
Not so much so. I was working at Red Rooster at the
Oh,
time.
right.
I was earning money. Yeah, sort of just fell in my lap.
So you took it, made
How
a
different
decision.
could life be if I went
I
to
know, I was
university?
thinking
Sliding
that. Where would your
Sliding
life have
doors.
gone? Yeah.
Sliding doors.
How
So,
different Anton could still be an electrician.
I could be if that thing didn't happen.
I could still be a nurse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I think there's an element of decision making in leadership too, right? So we've got to make the big decisions. That's
Yeah.
So with the grade 12s now, this time of year, and if you, like I said, if you were to have a conversation, as far as making a career decision, because I don't know many people, even your age or my age, that are actually doing what they thought they wanted to do when they left school.
Heaps.
So I just think there's so much pressure on young people now to
make a
decide,
decision.
in grade 11, what's your career path going to be? What subjects do you need to do to get this OP? And, there's so much pressure. And I always sort of say to them, it's not the end of the line. If you get to end of grade 12 and you don't, get the OP that you need, or it doesn't mean life's over.
That's right.
It
I
just
don't know
means
what I
you're on
want
a
to be.
different
I
path.
don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah, I don't.
What would you say?
Yeah, I don't know. So you just got to do it to the fullest. So if I was going to do information technology, I promise you, I'd do it to the fullest.
That's
So
right.
I'm going to do it.
You're not going to succeed.
I've only got one speed.
Okay.
It's either fast or slow. There's
So
no
go
in between.
after things. When you make a decision, go after it.
Give
And
it
if it changes,
100%.
it's not the end of the world. It's another day.
Yeah, right.
Think of the long picture.
Okay, so long-term view.
Long term.
So make short-term decisions, long-term view, and once you make a decision, commit like a bench.
Yep.
Right.
So be coachable.
And be
Have to be
coachable.
coachable.
Because you got to ask for help along the way, right?
Do.
Yeah.
And what about advice on the people you have in your life? So you would have influences, your coaches in footy and your teachers and your parents, I'm assuming, you've
And
got your brothers. And
Yep.
so what about making the choice of, who to have in your life influencing you? What would you say to young people about that?
Yeah, so Anton touched on it pretty good before. To use the arena term.
Yeah.
The arena, so not unless you're in it, you haven't shed the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
No, you always get the gift of feedback. It's whether you unwrap it and
That's
choose
it.
to.
Choose to use it. So what you're saying is get around people that are in the arena,
Correct.
that are learning from the school of hard knocks, and learn from them and be coachable. So, well, let me ask you this, mate. Who is your, let's go apart from Doug, Sherry ask you, just say CCs. What's CCs?
Commitment, courage.
Oh,
Thanks
cool.
for putting me on the spot.
Cool. So apart from Doug, because I know that's a given, who's a leader that you look up to?
So back, Troy, I don't know if he's still online there, but back in
Probably
the day at Yarwin, construction supervisor, there was a bloke with the name Stu O'Sullivan. So he was mid-70s, pretty old sort of bloke. He was a construction supervisor. And that was back when I was on the tool store. He really helped me go to the next level. He was really, really good.
What
So,
did you
yeah.
teach him?
He always got to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. Was always going home at
Wow,
5 o'clock.
dedication.
So everybody's got a Stewie in their life. And he's my Stewie.
Led by example, obviously.
He was really good.
Did you have particular teachers like that because we've had that conversation before, that you actually look back and say that person had a real influence on, the type
School
of
teachers?
person? Yeah.
I was a bit of a rat bag at school, to be honest.
Still like Anton. Yeah.
Probably not as bad as
club,
Anton.
turn it up.
Yeah.
That's all right. It means there's hope for others.
That's
If they can turn out like you and their rat bags right now, then there's hope for them.
No,
So-
that's right. No, cool,
How many
cool.
brothers have you got then?
2 younger brothers.
2 younger
Oh,
brothers.
wow, okay, so
Yeah,
you're the oldest of 3.
Oldest of 3, so my mum was in a house of 4 boys.
Was she?
Okay,
Right.
she's a strong
Did you have to
woman.
fight over your food? Like, do you,
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
So, are you pretty easy to please food-wise?
Very,
Yes.
very
And so Kirsty would say,
There's nothing I don't eat.
shit on toast as long as the bread's fresh, right?
I literally today had curried sausages, which is a week old. Full of,
Oh, no.
I eat anything.
no.
I get it, man. I'm one of 4 boys.
Yeah.
I get it. And
So you
my
just eat
wife,
what's there.
oh, it was like a feeding time at the zoo.
There's no
You know,
chance
4
to be
boys.
fussy.
No, my wife can't understand it. Joe and I, we just eat anything. The shit that goes in our mouths, she just can't understand it. I
And
call
you're
her
just
fussy.
grateful to have food, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you just want to get your belly full.
And we always appreciative. Like, I bet you say to Kirsty, beautiful food. And she said, oh, I'm not my best work. But that's okay. It's great. Thank you. Thanks for the effort you put in.
You
Right?
can tell.
You can actually. No,
Thanks,
joke.
Popcorn's
Oh,
black.
so,
Definitely. Apart from the podcast and that you source to, obviously you try to fill your mind with things that help influence you. Have you ever gotten to a point where you've decided to do some more formal training in the leadership sort of sector as far as sourcing? I want to become a better leader, so. I know there's people in your life that influence you, but are there people like Anton? Obviously, are you a Tony Robbins man? Are you do you?
So I've only, as I explained before, I was a plumber. Still consider myself a plumber, and I've worked my way there now. So obviously, the further you get away from your original identity, the more you lose yourself. So I'm only really just starting now to self-development. So that course with Anton the other week was really the first self-development.
Wow, is that right?
Yeah,
31, bro.
I've done no formal leadership training. You're on my first.
Yet, bro.
So what impact did that, just from you two sitting here
boy
and
loves his
obviously...
food. The boy loves his food. The big boy loves his food.
Current sausages that are a week old. So obviously from your business point of view and Nathan being one of your clients, because I came to that as well, and I've already told you what I got out of it. It was amazing. So from that, as far as you obviously didn't realise what impact Nathan had as far as that being his first reaching out to self-development.
No, seriously didn't know.
So what did it have, not specifically, for the workshop that it was, but what did that actually do for you? Did it make you hungry for more of that?
Yeah, so it was a public speaking workshop. I went there for public speaking. I don't consider myself a bad or a great public speaker, but I went there and I did a talk on leadership, and it actually forced me to self-reflect. And that's the first time, honestly, I've self-reflected, because I actually had to do a talk on leadership. So that was actually quite hard for me, to be honest.
You would never know. You were so confident.
I've never self-reflected,
I'm calling BS.
That's it.
Really?
That's it, yeah.
So you had a lot of BFO, mate, blinding flash of the
I
obvious.
did. So
I
I
need
went
to do more
there
of that.
for a public speaking course, and I've come away a leader, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. we ended up
Wow,
talking-
Anton, there's your
right?
feedback.
No,
That's
that's
amazing.
great.
That was good. Really good.
Oh no, I appreciate it. I'm just surprised because you were so
confident.
strong and confident, and it wasn't like you had to self-reflect at all. Like if you
And from an outsider, it actually looked like you already had your shit together and you knew exactly what you were doing.
Looked like you're an old hand.
I did. It was
you've
like,
done-
oh my god, this guy is like knows what he's doing,
Hello,
and
Ann
he's
from
like,
Agnes. We're going all the way to Agnes.
That's
Yeah, not
actually.
at all, so.
And
a
Kieran,
surprise.
hello,
That's a
Kieran
big
Marie.
surprise.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. You seemed like you were an old hand at personal development because you were giving me feedback, and it was like I'm thinking,
The way he carried himself, the way he spoke,
I
that it
know.
actually is a surprise to hear that, because you did.
So
come
that's the
across.
first part of formal leadership training I've ever done.
We're very good at faking till you're making
I
it, because
know.
I had no idea that you hadn't. It was like you'd had formal training in it before. So that's a really good. Yeah.
that's a massive rate for you how you handled yourself, and not only that, you were, and I'm going to give you a rate. You were actually probably one of the best. Said with love to everyone else, because I know everyone else is watching. And Mark's watching.
Yes.
Oh, Mark was a great. Mark was
great.
so good to have Mark.
Mark
So,
was great.
Can I just quickly digress
It's
for a
worth
sec?
it.
It's a good story. Well, you tell the story.
No,
you
you
tell,
go for it.
you'll
You
tell
go
it
for
better than I. Go.
So Mark, can you see if he's still online there?
We can't. You can only just
Yeah.
So Mark owned a roofing company. He was the director. And correct me if I get this wrong, Mark, but you went from 40 employees to 80 within 3 months or 6 months or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
And he really struggled with public speaking, and you can tell like he was very nervous about public speaking. So even in a group, there was 10 of us in the room. It was a real battle in his mind for him to get up there, and you could see him shaking. It was, once he did it, it was a real success.
Why not?
It was good. I'm getting goosebumps.
Oh no,
Oh, me
me too.
Right.
But sitting around at lunch and dinner, and when we were talking, and like you said, he walked into work every day, and he could stand and have conversations with his staff. But he said, "You get me up in a boardroom to talk to clients." And the first day, compared to that next talk that he gave, to actually see those physical reactions to him being nervous. But it was just amazing that how far he came in. Because he had to leave early
That's right.
in such a short time to see
18.
how he had progressed.
And can I tell you the backstory to that? Too?
Amazing.
Which I think I've shared with Nathan, and probably you too, Ross, that when Mark called me before it, like he was in straight away. So he saw a Facebook ad, get over your fear, straight on it, I'm coming. Like there was no selling to Mark.
Which is a big deal that he
big
actually
deal. He
did
said,
that.
I'm so nervous. And he said, the only problem for you is, dude, this is what he said to me, dude, you won't fix me. So he said, do you give a guarantee? And I said, yeah, we do.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money back
Yeah,
guarantee.
money back
guarantee.
Yeah.
I said, mate, you
You
can't
stood
look.
up and actually said, I will give you
I
your
own
money
that.
back. If,
I told him a month out. If we don't fix you, you get your money back, bro. And he said, well, you'll be paying me back. He said, this will be good. This will be a free event for me. I said, great. Well, I hope not. And so I called it out on the Saturday morning. I said, everyone, I need you need your help because I don't want to have to pay this dude back. And it was guys like Nate who are in the business doing the same thing that I think really helped that workshop. You know what I mean? Like there was you helped in other ways, and then Michelle helped in other ways.
Oh, definitely.
I think it's worth touching on Andy that come with it.
That's
Andy,
right.
I think Andy being it was
So
a real
Andy is
support
his
person.
superintendent,
Yeah.
you know, and he come just to support Mark.
Oh,
Unreal.
Well,
No,
he's
different one.
actually the Aztec Nathan. Andy was the Aztec Nathan. The guy, because Andy loved the business like you love Aztec.
Beachy's down at Harvey Bay on the
It was
Esplanade.
busy down there. Good on you,
Yeah.
team. Hello, troops. How are we?
But it's a beautiful day down
There's the
there.
Harvey Bay 100 this weekend. Big triathlon down there this weekend.
So
Should
he did
fly
not get his
outside.
money back then.
He didn't get his money
He didn't
back.
get his money back because
Because he didn't ask for it. Ash
he
Glasses
did
and Brizzy
actually
getting his
have-
knee checked out because he
Yeah.
came so far. And if he'd asked for it, I would have happily given it back. I didn't need to though because he just came
You
so
could
far.
tell
Oh, he-
between the morning and afternoon he changed.
Oh, absolutely.
And then overnight
And it was
again.
so obvious, and it was such a short time frame that you could see that change.
That's right. And what I love about, and g'day Ben, and what I love about Mark too is we get people up on the Saturday hour to tell a story. And he had to like pace the room. He had to come and stand up the front of the room, walk up and back.
Because remember initially you told us we had to do 10-minute talk,
and he
and
said,
then
holy shit.
and
He
then
like
we-
did a minute.
yeah, he did do a minute, but it was like so brave to actually
Get up.
and then to see the change in him by that afternoon.
That's right.
It was
It was really
Yeah.
amazing. So
But he was physically reacting to the fact that we had to get up later during the day, so you could
He
see how
was.
much. And a lot of people are like that with any sort of public speaking.
and that's why I really appreciated everyone being there. Guys like Nate who thought an old hands and
Yeah.
talking everyone up and saying, you're right, you've got this.
I actually learnt more, no offense, more from the other people there than I learned from you.
What?
Like if you could get 10 different people, you couldn't grab more different people.
Oh,
stick
it
them in
was
a
so
room.
true. That is so true.
And I think I called that on day one. I said, I actually probably learn more from you guys and girls than you'll learn from me.
And I
Just
think
to
that was
diverge back in, January 30-31, leadership.
Oh, leadership, January 30. No, thanks.
That's right. You need to give that a plug.
2 days of leadership training down at Agnes. We're going to go and rock it down there, mate.
Money
Hey,
back
Donna.
guarantee.
Absolutely,
Money back.
absolutely. Mate, if you
No,
don't,
it'd be-
if you don't, if
it would
I
be a
don't,
great
if I don't
event.
fulfil the promise that I make at the start of those 2 days, I haven't done my job.
So just to reflect, I went there as a public speaking course, come back a leader. Imagine more if people went to a leadership course. Imagine how
They would
good come back as.
Yeah.
So I
Thanks.
highly recommend it.
Thanks for the plug, bro. And we're going to rock it. I've got some great ideas too. So let's start wrapping up because I know that an hour's a long time for people, and I know that Nate said to us before,
Gift of feedback.
the gift of feedback was don't go too long today. The one that I got Nate to watch was an hour 22. He said, I can't sit through that long team.
Yeah, we
I
talked a
watched
lot.
15 minutes of
What did you say? There was a lot of crap in that one that we did. Though.
There was. We've been so. Well,
Some
I
of
think
them
we've
have
been
been
better today.
Oh, we have been, but a lot of them have been like that, though, more
Yeah.
structured. But sometimes we'd rock up here at 5 to 4 and not have a topic, so we
No,
just
that's
wing
right.
it.
Just
So,
wing.
hey, you know what though? We've
Yeah.
committed to just about every Friday for a year. Well, it's over a year now. So even though some of them
We've missed.
we have digressed, and yeah, it's been a learning experience for us. It all started with a coffee when the cruise ship came in, and
58 minutes
The
now.
Hubs Hotel, 58 minutes. Are we at 58 minutes?
58
Yeah,
Oh, we
minutes.
are. I keep looking at this.
So let's summarise.
Righto. Now, well, actually, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time before we go. Here's a challenge for you, bro. In a minute or two, what's the Aztec story? So if you're talking to your clients now, what is it that sets Aztec
Elevator
apart?
speech.
What's
You've
the
got a minute
elevator
and a half.
speech?
Oh, thanks for putting me
No,
on.
I know.
You know, we'll do anything but electrical. So we'll try absolutely everything.
Right.
So we'll struggle along the way. You want to see that? You know, we'll set a good example.
so you're talking residential, commercial, industrial.
Anything except for electrical. Don't want to touch that. No offense. Electrical's
No,
a
no,
full
that's
separate
right.
field. I don't want to get involved in.
We're way smart.
So if someone wants, like, I want to break this down. So if someone wants a toilet put in their house,
Give it a crack.
okay. So anything from small bit to really big industrial jobs.
Great.
If someone wants a shed built out of the Yarwun site, for example.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Just built one recently.
There you go.
actually.
There you go. Oh, that's right. We drove past it the other day. Is that the same one?
Correct.
Yeah, cool.
Big green.
So you need a big team to do all of that.
Yeah, so we're sitting at about 200 guys at the moment. 200. So
It's a
we've gone
massive business.
from,
That is.
I was the first employee 2005 to 200.
That's huge growth.
200.
Huge amount of growth.
Okay. So what is Aztec different to, say, Joe Blow Construction? They've gone from 0 to 10 in that same time and think they're going well and don't really get what it takes to actually take 200 person business.
Yeah, so I think we really care. You know, we'll any crack, we'll give it 110%.
Right.
Like I'll sit up late at night till 10 o'clock sometimes and do quotes if I have to,
Right.
just to keep the guys busy and keep working.
Right.
And can I just say, from a real estate perspective, when we deal with a lot of contractors and builders, and for people who supposedly are crying out for work, and this is no reflection on anybody in particular, but we have a lot of our vendors, our landlords, us personally, from a business point of view, that is our biggest frustration, is when people actually say they need work, or can you please put us down as one of your preferred contractors, and it can take 3 weeks for us to get a quote back. And the care factor of knowing, you know, if you're dealing with someone who gets back to you straight away, that they actually show they care as you know, you're going to be a preferred client of ours or whatever. That's a really big deal. It's actually the care factor, I definitely think, will get you more business, and that's why there's been the growth.
Yeah, so for instance, when we do a tender, we'll send out, this is going to be a project manager. It's got a photo of the project manager. Like, still deliver that personal service, but 200 people.
Wow.
Big achievement.
Make it personal. There's nothing we can't do. We'll try anything. We'll care enough to do what we say we're going to do right from tender stage, which means that if we tell you 24 hours to do the tender, we'll have it to you in 24 hours.
Under promise,
Under promise, over deliver. And we care not only about our external people, but our internal staff, because we do leadership training, we do internal work on our people, because we believe that growing our own people is just as important as.
So we very rarely, but it's very infrequent that we hire a new leader into the business. So it's all about upskilling. Yeah.
I'm assuming that's a relative of yours as well.
I wasn't going to say that, but we did just build a shed at my old house.
So that's your dad, Bruce. My dad's Bruce.
Is that Bruce?
My dad's name is Bruce. Yeah. Shed at Dad's.
Team, been an absolute
1
pleasure.
minute.
1 minute.
1 hour, 2 minutes.
Let
So
me eat,
Finish
sleep, leadership, repeat.
Oh, nice.
love that. Well done.
That's worth typing in. Eat,
Sleep, leadership, repeat.
sleep.
Just don't eat week-old curried sausages very often.
Fine. I'm going to teach Anton to type in.
Oh no, if I can get around the right way.
Repeat.
I love it. Well done. Mate,
So,
thanks for coming on, bro.
One last.
Yeah.
I'm going to summarise it all. So when you become a leader, you don't wake up a leader. You physically have to develop yourself. So you've gone from tradesman, leader, start again. So I had one of my guys, supervisor. He was really struggling because he thought he'd wake up one day a leader, and it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
That's good advice.
The identity thing's a big one.
It is, and that's a true one. It's pretty true for me. So
You still talk about yourself as a plumber.
I'll still always be a plumber.
When will you be a leader?
Don't know, but I'll always be a plumber. Always.
Good. With leadership skills.
With leadership skills.
On that, have you seen the speech Matthew McConaughey gave? And he actually says, and someone asked, who's your hero? And he said, it's me in 10 years.
Yes, Tom.
And he said, in 10 years, someone asked me the same question, and he said, it's me in 10 years. And I love that. I just think the fact that and that's what that just reminded me of is.
You're not there yet.
Not there yet.
Yeah.
Will be?
I'll be there one day.
Will you call yourself a leader?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Ask him in Agnes.
I will. Mate, it has been great.
Money
bro.
back guarantee.
Do I have to give you another kiss?
Yeah, thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you, mate. Thank you. Mr. Guinea.
Thank you, team.
Have a great
said,
weekend,
guys.
everybody, and hope you've enjoyed. Nathan, thank you for joining us.
Wasn't
That
he
was
amazing?
fantastic.
He's
Yeah,
amazing.
he is amazing. He is amazing.
When
And
I talk about
thanks
Nate,
to Doug as well from Aztec for letting us
Thanks for
borrow
having
him
us on.
for a while, and once again for being a major sponsor at our Emergency Services Day on the 14th of December. We really
Rocky
appreciate
Glen.
it. At the Rocky Glen Hotel, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. or really late.
oh look at this, love.
Come and support us, guys.
When we talk about people like Nate, we actually say mature above their years. So
He
he's
is,
not
definitely.
32, he's like
He's an amazing man.
sorry,
What did you say?
32. 31.
Give me credit.
All right. See you, team.
Have a great
Been
weekend.
pleasure.
Bye, guys.